What's up? This is a brand new series. A lot of you guys have been asking for, Alex, when are we gonna see some haircuts on the channel? Guess what we're doing right now? We're delivering. We're delivering to the people. All right, Johnny?
Yep.
All right, cool. So we're gonna have a lot of fun today. And guys, this is one of the most requested videos when it comes to my Instagram. I get this question all the time. I'm gonna simplify the living life out of fading. Okay, why? Because I struggled so much when it came to fading initially. When I worked at the Cuban barbershop, there was about 17 steps just to get a nice blend. I've simplified it in like 2 to 3 steps. Okay, we're gonna simplify it. I'm gonna show you a very easy and quick way on how to do a fade. And right now we have obviously Simon in the chair, and my name is Alexi Michael, founder of Learn to Cut, one of the largest online programs in the entire world. And let's get this show started. All right, so step one, we have to analyze the head, analyze the hair, right? So obviously, what do we see? We see that it's overgrown. It's kind of overgrown into a buzz cut from what I know, right, Simon? This is shaved off, yeah. So overgrown into a buzz cut. Obviously, guys, it's, if he's trying to grow, let's say the top, we still want to clean up the sides. So the intention here is that we're gonna do a nice fade, but it's quite flat because the hair is really, really thick and really straight. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with a 4, we're gonna establish our weight, and then from there we're gonna fade down, okay? So we're gonna take our 4, we're gonna close the guard, and we're just gonna take the head, guys, and place it slightly this way. The reason why is because it becomes way easier for me to fade off the head, rather than if it's here, you're gonna end up making almost like a hole into the head. You're gonna have like a very heavy line. What we want is a seamless blend, and how we're gonna do this is very simply by doing this, okay? Step 2, we want to come off in this exact motion. So we want to come off the head, and we're going to use this technique all the way throughout. So when it comes to fading, I use 3 panels. Panel 1, panel 2, and panel 3. Okay, so when I'm explaining it to you guys, I'm going to start with this simple panel first. So panel 1 is going to be the area of the head that's completely flat. Panel 2 is going to be the exact other side, and panel 3 is going to be the back. Why? It's going to allow us to have a way more balanced fading it this way rather than coming all the way around. Okay, so let's commence. Step 1, number 4, goes all the way in. And look at the motion, guys, look at the motion. Now you're probably wondering, well, Alex, typically on your YouTube videos, you're going in and cutting with scissors. In this case, I don't have to. Why? Because it's already short. I don't have to establish my weight line with my scissors. Okay, what do we say? Panel 1, we're just gonna clean it up furthermore. Make sure it's nice and blended. Okay, panel 1 is done. Same process, guys, nothing changes. Just be very mindful of my technique and just look how I come off the head, right? Head position slightly tilted, look at this. Elbows up. Look at the angle of how I come off. Now we've done both panels, left and right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna connect it and blend it, and we could see based on the lengths over here. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna establish our number 2 underneath our 4. The reason why is because this is gonna be the foundation of our fade. If you have a 3, guys, you can blend our 0 into the 3, it becomes difficult. But with the 2, blending it from 0, 1 into the 2 is so much easier, okay? So, number 2 closed, everything closed, except the only time we open the lever is with our number 1. Okay, put that in your notes, write it down. You only open the lever with your number 1. With our number 2, we're gonna close it, turn the machine on, same process, nothing changes. Our 2 now is gonna sit underneath our 4. And if you feel like you have trouble blending the 2 into the 4, guess what? You could start with a 3 as well. Okay, so from here, there we go. See, now our foundation is beautifully set. We'll open the lever a little bit in here. Okay, process remains the same all the way throughout. Okay guys, so now we start the skin fade. okay? What we're gonna do is we're gonna go with our 0, okay? Our 0, because we have so much space, we could almost use like a guide here, like 4 fingers, okay? You could use almost this line here where the hair curves where the sideburns at. So you could use four fingers, and that'll be where your 0 line is gonna end, okay? So let's do it this way. I'm gonna come from the bottom, and there we have it. Okay, we're gonna use this as a reference, and it's gonna be a complete horizontal line. And look at this, we're gonna connect it now from the back, and look at that, boom. There we have it. Now, if you're wondering, well, Alex, why don't I come and create the line this way, right? I see this happen quite frequently. Why don't we come and do the line, boop, this way? The problem is, guys, if you go and do it this way, it becomes way hard to flick that line out after. So all we're doing is we're creating these systems to make it as efficient and easy for us to go and blend it after. Example, if you go and create a harsh line like this, it becomes very hard to blend it in with our clipper at the very end. So this way, we come from the bottom and we're already fading this line in. Cool, we're just gonna make sure this is slightly cleaner. And now we're gonna go into our outline. And we're just gonna take this length slightly shorter. And the only reason behind that, guys, is because we wanna make sure this length blends with this one. Because right now, if I was to use the foil shaver, what would end up happening is it wouldn't be short enough and we wouldn't be able to blend this in. So at this point, now we take our foil shaver. The way I like to explain it, guys, there's 3 ways of blending this. You go down, up, side to side. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go down with it first. So we're gonna go with the grain, we're gonna take it slightly shorter, and then we're gonna go into this circular motion. But what you don't wanna do, you don't wanna take it all the way to the line, because again, you're just gonna make it way harder for you to blend that line. So what we wanna do is we wanna be almost half an inch lower than the line, so we could then flick off and blend this smaller lengths in here. Does that make sense? Cool, let's move on. The moment you guys have been all waiting for, okay? This is my secret blueprint on how to fade probably in less than 2 minutes, 3 minutes at most. What we're gonna do is, we've established our number 2, guys. We have our balding line, it's all gone, it's all blended. Now we take our number 1. Our number 1 is gonna sit underneath our number 2, but it's gonna be open. After that, we're gonna close it completely. Then we're gonna remove it. Then we're gonna blend with our open and our closed, and that's it. We could use our 1.5 guard or our 0.5 guard, but guess what, guys? They're not a necessity. I could still get a beautiful blend just by doing this and this and this, okay? So let's start. Let's clean our canvas. Boom, boom, boom. And now we're gonna make sure that the head is slightly tilted as always. And look at the movement. The flick will probably be the most important part, but guess what? I'm not using my wrist to flick this. It's gonna be the motion of my arm, okay? So step 1, 1 open, goes right underneath our number 2. Okay, at this point, I start moving. I go a little bit towards the left, boom, done. A little bit towards the left, done. And there we have it. Okay, our 1 open is done. 1 closed sits right underneath our 1 open. Okay, you have to think, where was that 1 open? Right underneath it, guys. Look at this. Okay, and now our open. Open sits right underneath our 1 closed. And we could already see this line is being blended. Look at that. This line's already being blended. We could see it. And now we slightly close. underneath that line. So I'm focusing on removing that line, and now we completely close. And there you guys have it, okay? Can we go back and refine it? Absolutely. I would say this is about 70% done. This is where you add your final touches, but we pretty much blended the haircut, okay? This is the position you want to be in, because the rest is where the magic happens, and we refine it to make it 100%, to make it Instagram perfect. But this is about 70% done. We still have a bit of a line here, a little bit of a blend here, but we did that in less than maybe 2 minutes. And there you guys have it. Okay, now we take our 1.5, and now we just refine using the corners. And we just want to stretch this blend a little bit more. And this is how we take it from that 70 now to that beautiful 100. Look at that, wow. See, we're seeing this really come into shape. We go back with our clothes and we just clean it up. Okay guys, so at this point, fade's done. Typically I like to start with the top, but I really wanted to just blend the sides. It was a preference because it was short enough, but usually you want to do the sides, do the top if it's long, and then you go into the fade, which I'll show you guys in other videos and examples. But in this case now, we just want to bring this slightly tighter because it's just going to make that fade pop a lot more, because we still see a bit of heaviness through the sides. We're going to add a lot more texture. We're going to weigh this thing a little bit down. We're going to maybe add a bit more texture in the front. We're gonna add some product and it's gonna be beautiful, okay? So let's get straight to it. We're gonna wet this down and I'm gonna show you guys how to apply texture, especially because the hair is straight. We're gonna work in zones now. Typically, again, not always, nothing is ever always, I would cut this vertically, but because it's short, it becomes just very difficult to do this vertically. In this case, I'm not really looking for balance. I'm looking to enhance texture, and that is why we're gonna cut this horizontally. Okay, we're gonna brush it down. We're gonna take it in little small zones, about a finger's width. And look at this, guys. We're gonna just soften and round this shape. So all you're gonna do is just follow that head shape, and you're gonna point cut this in, okay? Again, this doesn't apply to everyone. It applies to this haircut, and the reason why, because it's straight, okay? Guidelines in here. Boom. Same process. See, a little bit of a corner, clean that up. Okay, we'll bring that down, and we'll work in zones. Again, it's not gonna be super clean to do this, and the reason why is because it's super straight. We just wanna enhance texture. You could almost cut this a little bit more on the visual side. That means even though, yes, your sections have to be clean, a lot of this is just visual. Okay. Okay, last section. Just gonna enhance a little bit of that front area where the frontal lobe is. Just to enhance a little bit more of that texture. Great, perfect. This is my creative flair, okay? If we look at the front, it's still sitting a little bit on the straighter side. I still wanna enhance a bit more of that texture. So what I'm gonna do, again, this is very visual, okay? So pay very close attention on how I do this. The last thing I wanna do is go into this motion of cutting across this way. Why? Because it's gonna take way too much off, okay? So we're gonna cut this vertically. So we're gonna look at the hair and we're just gonna follow the same exact line. And why I wanna do this again, because it's still sitting a little bit more on the straighter side and I just wanna enhance a bit more texture, okay? So just look at how I do this. All right, so now we're gonna apply a bit of that product. We're gonna blow dry this in, and then this is where the 100% comes. Obviously, you guys are looking at like, well, this guy didn't even outline the haircut. Yes, do not worry. We have that plan in place. We're just gonna apply that product and we're gonna refine it, and we're just gonna show you guys the final result. Beautiful. Is it desire? Damn, I'm good, bro. Woo!
You should do this for a living, bro. Try to tell you.
One day I'll get paid.
Bro, one day, bro, one day.
My favorite part, the outline. So very simply, look at how the outline is almost naturally sitting. All we want to do is refine it. So we want to make sure this is slightly more square and this is slightly more rounded. So very simply, I'm just going to trace it by going into this rounded motion. You come back, tap, tap, tap. Okay, and then from here, we're just going to push this back slightly and refine the line. Okay, there you guys have it. We'll clean this up slightly more and we'll go back into it if need be. But this is how you keep it very simple and very natural. Okay, so if you guys are wondering what I'm doing here, this is just refining a little bit of that blend, especially because the hair is so thick. All we're doing is breaking it up a little bit more. This is gonna allow the hair to look more blended. And you do this specifically when it's really, really thick hair and you're just trying to stretch that fade a little bit more. Okay guys, so that is my final look on Simon. One of my favorite haircuts, a simple skin fade, broken down in a very simple way. I think it's extremely important, especially as an educator, for me to break this down in a simple way for you guys to be able to apply it. So I would love some feedback. Use my technique. Let me know the next time you do a fade if this helps. And guys, this is my final look. I can't wait to share more haircuts and more tutorials for you guys. Drop a comment on what kind of haircut you guys want to see next, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody, and thank you.